It is Tuesday. You know what that means? People are fucking pissed off. Welcome back to People Are Pissed Off, starring the star of people being pissed off, myself, truly, Red. Joining me this evening, good buddies of mine, Alan, and illogical Canadian, good old Akbar, is not here tonight to send some good vibes his way. Now, guys, as usual, surprise guest at the last moment. Kurzov is joining us.
Yeah, Tony Schiavone has joined us, apparently.
Tony Schiavone? Oh, boy.
If you don't watch wrestling, you won't understand that reference.
You're right, I don't.
I'm an old wrestling fan. I remember watching Tony Schiavone on WCW back in the day during the Monday Night Wars.
He's old. We know. We get it. He's old. It's okay.
No, Jim Ross is old. Tony Schiavone, he's
old.
fine.
He's fucking old as dirt. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get into the elephant in the room. But first, a little bit of self-reflection, the most dramatic part of the show. We have to look in upon ourselves and say, my team sucks. Or, actually, we're doing pretty good. So with me, it's we're doing pretty good. Slow start against Northwestern on Saturday for sure. Didn't quite do what Ohio State was supposed to do from start to finish, which makes me slightly worried going into this weekend. But nonetheless, we're going to have good thoughts, positive vibes, and pray that the Hoosiers will never experience 11 Indiana. Right? Alan, go.
Holy shit, Wisconsin scared the fuck shit out of me.
The fuck shit out of you.
Well, they nearly fucking lost.
The fuck shit. The fuck shit. What the fuck shit?
What the fuck was that?
God damn it.
I had to.
Here's the thing. So, as every Oregon fan and even media member will point out, Oregon has had to bust their ass playing 8 straight weeks, going all across the fucking country, and back at home against all different types of teams. We've got some guys injured, and that Wisconsin game, we did not get off to a good start. We were down at halftime. We came back and we got the job done. And if people want to crap on the fake field goal, look, man, I had some.
I already did. What the fuck were they thinking?
Here's the thing: if one of the guys blocked a different way or took a different angle on a block, we could have had the first down on that play.
What the?
So
no.
Dan Lanning is
I'm stopping you. I am stopping you.
No,
Dan Lanning is that close. You resort
because they both start with Dan, and I like it.
That was some Chip Kelly bullshit right there. That's what Chip Kelly would have done, and what it cost you the win.
Except Wisconsin couldn't get the job done. Defensive line stepped up, got the interception at the very end of the game. Thank God. And now we get a bye week. We should have guys like Birch and Tez Johnson back after the bye week, so we should be good. Red brought it up in his video. Washington could have an opportunity to beat us. I don't really think so. I think part of some of the struggle is just Wisconsin just has a damn good defense. Although it's funny that their head coach came out this week and said that for the next game they're gonna have like a committee of people to figure out the offense. Like, what the fuck? But we got the job done. We can rest. We're still on top. We're still number 1. We're going to watch the rest of the fucking top 25 cannibalize themselves this week, hopefully. And we can go into Washington week, hopefully rested, healthy, and ready to go.
Got it. So, real quick, I saw this about an hour ago before we started getting ready for the show. After their win against Wisconsin, there was a little bit of debate on whether or not Oregon has officially clinched their spot in the Big Ten title game. Made official by the Big Ten Conference themselves.
Let's go!
Earlier this afternoon. Oregon has punched their ticket to Indianapolis after their win against Wisconsin on Saturday
Let's
night.
go!
Oregon is officially going to be one of the two teams playing for the Big Ten strap as we go down the way. Now, that is not surprising to anybody that's been paying attention with half a brain. What is surprising is that it took a fucking committee to review every tiebreaker scenario, and I read them all, to finally come to the conclusion that no matter what happens, Oregon's going to be one of the two teams in Indianapolis. So good for you, Oregon. You're going to the Big Ten title as expected. It was expected for you guys to be there. So congratulations. Well done. A couple of chatters I want to get to real quick before we moved on to the other guys. Hey, Red, saw the playoff rankings and projections on Instagram and noticed Boise State at the 4 seed. Mid-majors rejoice. The BCS is finally a broken system, even though that was proven over a decade ago. Hell, we almost choked it like a bunch of Maple Jays, damn it. Fellow Oregon fan, hell. And Electro, good to see you again, from last Pac-12 runner-ups to first Big Ten championship appearance. Amen to that. Kurzov, you got a horse in this pony show?
Not a singular one. So my late mother went to Gardner Webb. So if you don't mind, I might just talk about Gardner Webb here for a bit.
Well, it is self-reflection time, so yeah, go ahead and let's talk about Gardner Webb. Because we don't do enough Gardner fucking Webb, because we don't do enough FCS on this show.
3-4 in the Big South BCS conference, 4-7 overall, and has not been such a great year for the Running Bulldogs. I mean, they've only all but one of those victories was in the conference, and it was against Presby. I mean, it's a game against Presby. This team ain't good. No.
We know.
Thank
you, Kurzov.
I've ad-libbed this as I saw it and decided to have
cynical.
And they're having to
Almanakis look alike.
And they're having to face a team this week named the Leathernecks. So put that into perspective.
No.
Leathernecks? That sort of sounds racist. I'm not sure why.
Lever.
The Western Illinois Leathernecks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Zach Galifianakis, for your very good input on Gardner Webb football. Now,
That's fucking funny.
unfortunately, one of these four is a Tide fan, and I don't mean the
I'll roll,
Trojans.
motherfucker.
Although this son of a bitch looks like he could use a fresh wash, a logical go.
Fuck you. Okay. This week on Low Tide, the Alabama Crimson Tide were having on a little bit.
Just get on with it.
Shut up. The Alabama Crimson Tide thought they were having too much of a challenge with FCS football teams, considering how they got their dicks kicked in on multiple occasions this year. So they figured the best way to boost that Crimson ego is to play an FCS school. Because surely beating the shit out of an underperforming program will definitely get your ego up. The Alabama Crimson Tide proceed to absolutely pimp smack Mercer back to wherever the fuck it was they came from. Putting up multiple scores with Lord Jalen Milrow leading away with only 186 passing yards. You mean to tell me that the fucking other guy nearly matched you in terms of fucking passing yardage? Good fucking Christ, I could have trusted a fucking dodo better than you.
Sounds like a true Crimson fight. Okay, no, absolutely not.
The fact that
Cancel your ass.
The fact it took you 10 seconds after I said it to realize what was said.
Because I was checking some other shit on the computer because I'm trying to run a respectable live stream and try to keep it monetized. So Can we not? I know it only gets maybe a couple hundred views a week, but that $5 means a lot, man. Come on.
$5.
$5. You probably get more in super chat donations than that.
Well, that's not wrong. Well,
That's not wrong at
thank
all.
you. Oh God, there's more.
There's more? Is there more?
Is there more, or were you done? Please tell me you're done.
I mean, there was really nothing other than just Alabama absolutely dick kicking Mercer out of existence. I mean, that's just there's really nothing to add. It's fucking Mercer. What do you want me to say?
Okay.
Somebody
All right.
Now you get to go
somebody
play
else- somebody-
Akbar in Oklahoma. So
Somebody in the chat knows more about FCS than I do.
Oklahoma?
yes, and hopefully the Boomer Sooners will take your tide and shove it back out in the ocean.
Listen,
Bitch.
read what I'm saying again.
All right.
Oklahoma?
Okay, here we go. We don't have Akbar here to defend the Sooners, so we're going to move on. Real quick, everybody say hello to Duck. He's watching some Akron ass kicking right now for the wagon wheel against Kent State. Go Zips.
Oh, yeah, that game exists.
Harvey back at it again. Self-reflection time from the chat as the FCS insider on this series. The North Dakota State Bison dominated Missouri State. The team transitioned to FBS next year and won a share of a conference. We're the real D1 dynasty. Okay. And who will win the 59th Veneer Cup? Lavelle University, the Mexican Sports Network 7-1, or Wilfrid Laurier University, Ontario University Athletics 8-0. For those of you who don't know what the Veneer Cup is, it's the Canadian College Football National Championship. And it's I'm gonna try to watch some of that this year. Because it's gonna be I didn't know that they had that, which is that's actually pretty cool. Glad to see
The
that.
more you do
Canadians
this shit,
north
right,
of
the more you learn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Maybe I might turn this channel into a Canadian college. I'm just kidding. We're just here we go. The third college football playoff rankings dropped, and drum roll, please. It fucking sucks.
Oh God, it's hideous.
Absolutely disgusting.
Okay. Let's. For those of you that are rather perplexed, I'm gonna walk you through again how the fucking shit works. Okay, so before we do anything else, let me be clear. First round buys go to the top 4 conference champions. Notice how I did not say power conference champions, just the top 4 ranked conference champions. Therefore, in the current projection, the top ranked BYU Cougars from the Big 12, as of now, would be playing on the road in the first round, and Boise State of the Mountain West Conference would get the first round bye solely because Boise State is 12th in the general rankings and BYU is 14th. If Colorado were in these polls right now, Boise State would still be in the first round bye as it stands currently. That's the first thing I want to be clear. Second thing I want to be clear about is conference champions have to go into the rankings first. So numbers 1, 3, and 8, Miami, along with number 12, Boise State, and number 14, BYU, since they're projected to be the college football or the conference champions of their, conferences, they have to be in the rankings first. Once you get those guys in the rankings, everybody else ranked, you fill it in based on whoever is left. So Ohio State being number 2 in the country would still play in the first round, despite them being number 2 because they're not a conference champion. Number 3 is Texas, but then number 4 is going to be your Penn States, and you go on from there until you run out of spots. That is why, despite Tennessee being ranked 11th in the polls, is the first one out. And the only reason why SMU is not in the playoff at all is because as of right now, Miami is the higher-ranked ACC team in the playoff poll. Therefore, they're the projected ACC champion. And based on where everything is looking like right now, they're the only ACC team that's going to make it into the playoff.
Dang.
that gets everything kind of squared away before everybody loses their fucking minds. Okay? Okay. Now,
So,
I'm going to open the floor up, and I'm going to ask all of you to be nice, because I know this is pretty bullshit.
Yeah.
so I'm going to talk on behalf of Tennessee fans for a second. I see this tweet that got retweeted on my feed. Alabama at 7 with Tennessee at 11, and the first team out is insanity. They being Alabama, lost to Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Sick of this love for Bama. Sick of it. Somebody in the comments pointed this out. Here's the way I see it as an independent observer. Bama, Vandy L, Tennessee L. Tennessee, Georgia L, Arkansas L. Arkansas L worse than Vandy L, perhaps. Maybe if you beat Vandy, I have this weird feeling they upset y'all, though. They factor that in, plus head-to-head equals Vols ahead of Bama. And then somebody replied to that saying, I think Vandy is going to win this too. They are playing in Nashville, not Knoxville this time. Diego is trying to prove something at Vandy. And yes, Arkansas is worse than Vandy this season, so that went into the ranking. And then my buddy Dalton says, being at Vandy isn't the problem. This is their Super Bowl. They've got nothing to lose, and they really want to beat us to cap off their season. I think we can beat them, but it won't be easy this time. So, there's that. So Tennessee fans are pissed off that Alabama is above them. Duck said, oh my God, you're using my graphic. Nice.
Yeah, credit to Duck for the graphic. It's honestly so much easier to read the poll using Duck's graphic that he made than it was just ripping it from the ESPN. So thank you, Duck. Appreciate it. Continue. You guys continue talking. I'm just kind of getting through some of these comments over here.
Yeah, you're good. I will say though, fuck Miami at this point. SMU fucking deserves to be. I don't give a shit about rankings. I don't give a shit. It's projected this or projected that. I don't give a shit. Give SMU the fucking spot. I don't care if it's number 4. Just give them the fucking spot. SMU is literally one of the best teams in the country, and a renaissance not seen in God knows how fucking long with that program. But then again, I realized this is the fucking NCAA. They must continue to torture SMU with the goddamn death penalty from the goddamn 80s or 70s, whatever, that SMU never seems to shut the fuck up about. This is the one chance SMU has.
Yeah.
This is the one chance SMU has to fucking get themselves out of that curse and into the playoffs. But we all know how this works. Say it with me if you know the fucking line. Bullshit. Money talks.
Are you
bullshit
fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding?
What the was that?
The fucking line that this channel has turned into a meme and you blow it like that?
I stuttered. It happened.
You fucking did.
Fuck out of here.
That was not a stutter, man. That was a stroke, okay? Let's just be clear.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh my God.
Seckle says it
That-
best.
oh, wait,
Once
I
again,
blew
you
it.
cannot
What-
trust a Canadian to do anything.
Wait. Hold on. Wait.
Truly,
I blew
you're
it.
logical,
Hold
Canadian.
on. I blew it. Wait a minute.
Yeah. You
And
blew it.
now, for the next few minutes.
And
That's
now,
right.
for the next few
Guns
minutes,
inside.
you've been muted. We're not doing that again. All right. Curtis off.
Anyway.
What's your shit?
This
And
is
he talks bullshit, walks off the stage.
bullshit. Doesn't need to walk off the stage. But yeah, I
Good
do
Lord.
not have anything to say that has not been already said. This is straight BS.
All right. Short,
I
sweet,
like
to the
Zep
point.
here.
Got it.
Now watch as Army pulls the magic off and takes the Golden Domes going down 80, going 80.
Okay.
Yeah,
look,
I also want to throw this out there. Fuck Joey Galloway. I understand you're an Ohio State alum and you want your Buckeyes to win, but outright telling Indiana that they should rest their quarterback to not have a Jordan Travis situation happen when that was a freak fucking injury when he ran the ball and he just got hurt. He just stepped the wrong way. Bro, I don't give a shit that Ohio State is a double-digit favorite against Indiana. Indiana is they're gonna fucking, they're gonna play you and they're gonna want to whoop your ass.
Yeah.
And as Red has pointed out, y'all keep having these slow starts in games that you should be dominating. You almost lost to Nebraska, who Indiana then proceeded to throttle and showed that freaking Dylan Raiola is most definitely not Patrick Mahomes and needs to stop fucking cosplaying as him.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Fuck.
All right, give me the wheel. I'm regaining control of this stream. Look, let's be completely clear about this, okay? I do not believe that this is going to be the final poll. This is just where things currently stand. If it were to end today, this is what we'd be facing. And yeah, you could be rightfully pissed off at everybody for being mad because there would be 2 games left off the table. We still got 2 games left to play for most of these teams. Some of them only have 1. Some of them have a pretty big one, like Oregon has to play Washington. Like I mentioned earlier, that could be a really big trap game. Knowing now that they're going to the Indianapolis to play for the Big Ten title no matter what, could cause them to stumble. Oregon's known for stumbling late in the season. They nearly did it against Whiskey, for God's sake. Texas is not safe by any metric. Texas A&M could easily beat them in Kyle Field on November 30th and potentially walk into Atlanta and steal the SEC title from everybody, causing the most chaos out of this timeline.
Yep.
Not saying that's going to happen, but still, anything can happen at that point. SMU easily can leap over Miami and go to the first round, get a first round bye in the playoffs. Notre Dame could easily lose to Army this weekend and completely derail their entire season. Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, they could all lose again, causing the SEC to completely reshuffle and lose its mind. Ohio State could lose to Indiana, and then Indiana could lose to Purdue the weekend after. A lot can happen.
Yeah, that's my dream. Purdue's ass.
I'm just saying, there is a lot of shit we still don't know that could happen, okay? The biggest thing I want to make clear to everybody is these are not the final rankings. They're not going to be the final rankings. And although I think that they're stupid, that's why they're not the final rankings.
Yeah.
Once the conference championships come and go, we'll have a better understanding of where everybody is at, and we can all hopefully agree on some shit. There's going to be people pissed off at the end of the day. This is a 12-team playoff now. Those of you that thought that there was going to be no controversy after this was all
You are dead wrong.
Yeah, for real, what the fuck? There's a 14 playoff. At least the 14 playoff, there's controversy with, okay, well, you had 2 losses. You're definitely not getting in now. Now, if you have 2 losses, you're still in play. We all learned that the hard way halfway through this season. You can still get in with 2 losses.
Yeah, and
what matters is that you win your
because of
conference.
the SEC cannibalizing themselves.
Oh, yeah, that too. SEC.
Yeah, the SEC went full implosion this season. Nobody saw that shit coming. With Texas and Oklahoma coming in, we all thought, okay, it's going to be kind of a, same old SEC. Alabama's probably going to stumble at least once during the trip. Georgia's going to be a dominant force. Ole Miss might make some noise and fizzle out. Texas was going to be there. What we didn't expect was A&M, LSU, fucking
Missouri.
We didn't expect
Vanderbilt.
Tennessee. Missouri. We didn't expect Vanderbilt. We didn't expect the SEC to completely just go, you know what? Everybody's getting shot. Everybody's getting shot in the gut.
This season has been full stickos.
Yep, pretty much. It's Russian roulette in this bitch.
Yeah, it really is Russian roulette, and there's a bullet in every chamber. Everybody's just gut shooting themselves. It is ridiculous. Now, let's kind of go over and hypothesize for a moment some of these matchups, because I'm not going to lie to y'all.
That's easy for on Rust.
No, you did not just know.
Hold on. What did Kurzov just say?
You did not just make a fucking Alec Baldwin joke on this fucking stream.
No, that was cynical. Kurza was just reading Cynical's comment.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
And then,
anyway.
He's like,
and then Electro.
you get a
that's
free
just like,
shot.
You get a free
Yeah.
shot, and you get a free shot. Everybody gets a free shot.
Shout out Sun Machine OP for saying Missouri would still be ranked by the college committee if they finished 6-6. Yeah. How the fuck?
Well,
And
they
then-
only
and I
lost
feel
to
like that's-
everybody.
That's a thing that needs to be brought up because them being ranked, it's like some people are saying it's to justify where other teams are standing in the rankings, which is wild.
Put up
and
the,
also you have the
Alan, let's
Boston
put up
College
the overall
game.
overall playoff bracket real quick if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
Oh shit. Hold on.
Or the
Sorry.
overall rankings, I should say. Do you have that? Because quite frankly, and I'm adjusting something real quick. Quite frankly, I do not see the logic in keeping Missouri. Oh, they lost to a similarly ranked South Carolina team. Got it. Was there nobody else you could have put there? There are plenty of teams that deserve to be ranked that aren't right now.
Right now, Mizzou's 7-3. They're 23rd in the country right now. That's what I'm seeing on ESPN. The only thing I see.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on.
don't understand it.
Fucking hell. Oh god damn it. I hate
We're kind of
it.
going all over the place tonight, guys, because this is a whole ass mess. This is a mess the size of a Thanksgiving dinner.
No, I think you mean no.
No.
Shut up.
No.
Why do you think I stopped myself, Alan? IQ?
Can you children please keep it together for 5 minutes? I really don't want to get restricted.
Red, how many times have we been over this? With us on, there's always a very high chance of restrictions happening.
I'm aware. You make me regret it every time, but god damn it, if you aren't so funny.
Do
You
I
have
need to get
A&M
this-
still around, yes, but in the background, here comes South Carolina. If they are set on SEC representation, yeah, no.
Let's go.
Okay.
There it is.
All right,
So,
college football playoff ranking is on the left. AP top
All right.
25 is on the right.
okay.
Okay,
I'm gonna
let me
ask this
adjust
question
this
to
real
keep-
fast.
I was like,
All
let
right,
me
here
ask
we
you
go.
guys this question to keep the conversation moving while Red's busy doing whatever over there.
Yeah.
Out of the top 25
I'm
you see
here.
on your screen, how's it go? Out of everyone on that top 25 right now that you see, who for you has been the biggest surprise for you this season?
Indiana, bar none.
Oh, Indiana.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Who the fuck thought Indiana was going to be top 5 in college football?
Who
Going
the
into
fuck
November.
thought they're gonna be undefeated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas, I don't know if we thought they were going to acclimate as well as they did. Boise
Also,
State up there.
Army is still undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah, Army's
Well, there's
Yeah.
been a
too.
few surprises this year, but then a bunch of them have stumbled off. Guys that start
Yeah.
undefeated and then fall off.
Yeah,
Um,
Colorado. I will say, because remember how shitty Colorado was last season with only 4 wins under the
Oh,
first year of
yeah.
Deion. This second year for Deion now has proven
Third
to
year.
be.
Or
Oh,
no,
third
you're right.
year?
It's a
Yeah, my
second.
bad.
It's a
Sorry.
second.
Yeah, it is second year. No, but I think it's safe to say that Deion's really fucking rebounded, and he's rebounded hard for the second season.
Yeah.
And plus,
Alan, could
there
you
might be-
zoom
plus-
in on that page real quick for us, please? A little bit more. Texas is a little
Plus, like,
small.
plus we
Thinking of the
know
mobile
that
watches right now. Thank you
we
very
know
much.
that we
That's
know
much
that
better.
Colorado's gonna have a step back next year with Hunter and Shadur going off to the NFL. And a
Well,
few others more than
allegedly,
likely.
Dion could go to the NFL too. If Dallas
Oh,
somehow manages to get a top pick and can draft Shadur, Dion might bolt for the NFL. And go.
No,
Want to give
I want
Dallas
to put.
more
I, wa-
nepotism?
I am going to firmly go ahead and just say right now that Dion's not leaving the college game. He might leave Colorado, but he's not
Well,
leaving the college game.
Dude,
Yeah.
think about it. Jerry wants somebody he's either going to get Dion or he's going to get Belichick. But allegedly,
you
the
think-
Jaguars can go get Belichick
Do you
for
think?
some fucking reason, and
Do
also
you think?
Trent Baalke for
Hold
some
on.
fucking reason.
Okay. Do you think that Prime, for as much as we all think he's a bit of a moron sometimes, with how smart he is, do you really think he wants to go stepping into Jerry's world of bullshit, even for a lot of money?
Hell no.
No. Why would he do
fucking
that and
recruiter.
ruin his
What has
coaching
been the
career?
one problem that Jerry Jones has had the last few years? Spending money in fucking free agency. Dion would get guys to fucking come over there.
How much? are we
There's a
sure that-
difference. There is a difference between recruiting a college kid and recruiting a pro athlete. You're
Just
not
ask
just
Nick
recruiting the
Saban.
college kid. You're also recruiting the athlete, you're recruiting the pro athletes themselves, their agent. And their agent doesn't give a shit about one thing and one thing only. That. And also, unlike college, there's a salary cap in the NFL. So I don't think he's going there. The NFL doesn't want to touch him, and I don't think he wants to go there anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think for a second that Dion, if he gets poached away from Colorado, is going to go to the NFL and go to Jerry World. No. Jerry World's going to find some other poor slacker to go head up the operation over there. You know, maybe they'll pull fucking good shit. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck they're going to try to grab.
If you want to,
But-
if you want to talk about free agency / recruiting, just ask Nick Saban's attempt to be an NFL coach.
I was in the mid to late 2000s, though.
Different
Like,
era.
come on. Completely
era.
different
I agree.
time.
Different era, different time, but the concept hasn't changed all that much still. Because again,
And also,
even back then,
Saban could
you
probably coach the
recruited
NFL now. He probably could.
Electro, yeah, electroing your fucking dreams. Florida State gets prime time if Mike Norwell gets canned. Yeah, like he wants to go to a fucking dumpster fire that's been burned to the ground. But his drunken
Alma
fuck over there
mater.
on the left.
No. You're completely forgetting about the alma mater part. Illogical. You got to remember something. He originally wanted to go to Florida State. Florida State decided to pass on him, and he ended up going to Colorado. Okay?
Was
That's
that
the
before or
big
after
shit.
he went to Jackson State first?
It was after he went to Jackson State first, if I recall correctly. I can't remember the
Yeah.
exact timeline. I think it was during Willie Taggart's era. After they had fired him before Norville, they asked Dion, or Dion applied and threw his name in the hat, and Florida State said no thanks, and he ended up going to Colorado soon after when he got that opportunity.
Yeah.
There's
Which is
there's
crazy
something-
because Travis Hunter was going to go to Florida State, and then he came to join Prime in Jackson State.
So what in the hell would he gain by going to Tallahassee? Yes, alma mater, important. What would he gain? Is Florida State, number one, willing to buy out the rest of Mike Norville's deal to get him? Do they have Jimbo Fisher money like Texas A&M does? I don't think so. They're kind of in the middle of a fucking lawsuit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's
So-
happening.
No, it's not going to
I
happen.
mean,
There's
Florida State might
nothing
be
in my-
desperate considering how shitty this season's been, but I don't know if they're that desperate.
Yeah.
The only
Well,
way
you know
they're
what?
going to become that desperate is if they lose on Saturday to FCS Charleston Southern.
Oh yeah.
That would be
Then they'll be
Also,
desperate.
I think we've all learned a very valuable lesson here today, kids. If you are suing the governing body in which that hosts you, chances are you're gonna fucking suck. Maybe don't sue the hand that feeds.
Also Patriot 23-11.
No,
Real
because
quick,
they
Jerry,
need to fucking win that to change
Cowboys,
NASCAR.
like,
But that's a
Garrett-
different discussion for another day.
Just
All right,
get
let's
before
stick to the rankings, okay? Because this is something that does need to be good. Again, for those of you just joining in, on the right side of the screen is the AP polls. On the left side is the college football playoff rankings that just came out. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and maximize it now to the full rankings for college football playoff. Got it. I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the layout so we can all see. Never mind, you went ahead and went back on me. Fine. Okay. Pick a lane. Pick a fucking lane. Okay.
Pick a fucking lane. Pick a lane and stay in it, asshole.
All right. So the one thing that I think
I thought by complete rankings it meant every fucking team for some reason. Jesus.
Alan, you especially know how I can get on the road sometimes. You've seen how I've gone in Boston. We're
I've
driving-
never been with you driving.
You
The fuck
drove
you
me.
mean?
I was with you in Boston. Remember? You
Yeah,
really brought me home from NXT Battleground last year.
Yeah, and that was me driving. Numbnuts. Not you.
gentlemen,
Red committed seppuku.
I am not amused.
There we
Let's
go.
keep on topic here for a moment. All right. Now, I kind of want to run through some scenarios here, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So, the final spot, the final automatic qualifier, that's a mandatory playoff spot, has to go to a conference champion. We now know that Army and Tulane will be the American Championship. That's good. That's going to happen. Okay. We now know that Boise State's going to be in the Mountain West Championship. We're waiting to see if Colorado State can clinch it next weekend. For the other seed, those are the only two conferences right now that have a realistic chance of getting an automatic qualifier in there for the first round for the campus home site games. Now, this is how it's going to work. If Boise State wins out and they just win out, they got the easiest path, they're going to go and they're going to get that final bid. If they don't get it, okay, that would put more than likely the Big 12 champion back into the first round bye. Right now, BYU and Colorado's ranked 16th in the rankings. That would effectively put Army or Tulane into the fight here. And if Army loses to Notre Dame and Tulane beats Army for the American, Boise State loses the Mountain West Championship, that puts Tulane in the playoff. Okay? Now, let's say some crazy bullshit happens and Arizona State beats BYU on Saturday. All of a sudden, it's going to be Colorado against Arizona State for the Big 12 championship, and that effectively guarantees that fifth automatic qualifier spot is going to be the Big 12. So that's going to piss off a lot of people down there. And I just want to say, regardless of what happens with Army on Saturday, what a fucking season. What a fucking season for the Black Knights. Like, you come in first year in the American Conference, their stadium is still being renovated, Vanderbilt style, and they come in and they absolutely steamroll everybody in their way. I mean, you cannot for any second say that the Army does not deserve this. They absolutely do deserve this. I don't think they should be ranked any higher than they are right now. I don't think they should be ranked any lower. The fact that they're ranked at all, it's a hell of a thing to see. We had all three military branches ranked at one point this season, which is really cool. So props to them. But Tulane, I think, somebody mentioned how they're really dangerous. They are the most dangerous for one reason and one reason only. They've been here a lot. They've been in this situation a lot. Tulane has a Cotton Bowl trophy for a reason, goddammit. So the Green Wave are absolutely a threat. Niall with a question I just saw, and I think this would be a really interesting scenario. What if Army beats Notre Dame and wins the American and Boise wins the Mountain West? Well, that's a great question, isn't it? I guess the playoff committee is going to have to figure that one out, don't they?
Fucking impromptu 1-game playoff. Loser goes home, winner moves on. Fuck it.
That would be fucking
more money.
Funny, but yeah, more money. If Army beats Notre Dame, I would have a really hard time thinking that the committee would keep Boise State ahead of Army because they would be 10-0. And Boise State, even though their one loss is to Oregon this season, that one loss is still a loss. And are you going to say that the fact that Army beat Notre Dame, a top 10 team, means that because Boise State couldn't get it done, they should be out of the running?
I mean,
that would be a really tough
look
call.
At their fucking schedule, bro. Look
I'm
at the
aware.
schedule of teams.
It's going to be a tough call. It's going to be a tough call either way.
Meanwhile,
yes, they have an easy ass schedule.
Meanwhile, this is Boise State's. I mean, to be fair, It's a little bit tougher. They still have
Because of
Wyoming.
Mountain West.
Wyoming's ass, and then they have to play Oregon State. So, and Oregon
I think
State can
straight
play
to schedule.
spoiler because, just like Washington State, because they're the only two Pac-12 teams that are left. So,
I don't know. If Army were to beat Notre Dame, what a fucking story for Army. But also, what the fuck are we going to do about Army? Because they still got to play Navy the week after Conference Champ Week, and then potentially have to play a quarterfinal game the following week. Like, they could be looking at several weeks in a row of playing with no break. Because Conference Champ Week, I want to kind of get this in front of you guys here, okay? Conference Champ Week is on the first Saturday of December. Oh, hold on. There we go. That's the 7th. Army-Navy is on the 14th. The quarterfinal, the first playoff game is Friday the 20th. 6 days. If Army somehow beats Notre Dame, wins the American, and then has to go and play Navy for their traditional game, they are going to be playing basically every fucking week through the 21st. Between now and then. Because then they get a 10-day layover until New Year's when the first round were to hit. And let's say some bullshit happens and Army wins the Rose Bowl. Okay, you get a week to recuperate, just over a week to recuperate before you got to play the 2 semifinal games. And then the national championships on the 21st or on the 20th. That's not a lot of break. I know the military in the United States Army, some of the toughest bastards to ever live and work. That's asking a lot out of a college team. I mean, a whole lot. Everybody else would get a week off. Army wouldn't. I almost don't want them to win because of that. Because that would effectively guarantee a 6-day, you would only have 6 days to prepare for the biggest game in program history. Against a team, you're not going to, you could prepare for it prior to that, but the amount of pressure, and then Navy could beat, and then imagine this, okay? Let's say Army does get in, okay? The playoff rankings are going to be set in stone before Army plays Navy. What if Navy beats Army? You can't fix that. You can't change that. Army would still have to go play. Boise State doesn't get a mulligan. The committee punted the issue. The question was raised in the offseason. The committee was asked, are you going to factor in Army-Navy? And they said no. Which that
I don't
would
think
mean
anticipated those teams being anywhere near this conversation.
but the fact that they're
Nobody
FBS
does.
means that they
Nobody
should.
cares about the military teams. They're irrelevant
should've.
90% of the time, it feels like.
Well, this is the 1% of the time where at least one of them is relevant. We were this goddamn close to having an Army-Navy 2-pack to potentially determine a campus home game. Okay?
Damn.
So this is something that needs to be, I think this is something that does need to be fixed going forward for the playoff.
They're probably going to
Because
fix
you
it
can't
this
have
offseason,
if Army beats Notre Dame, this would be the ultimate doomsday scenario for the 12-team playoff. It wouldn't be the SEC having two bitching and moaning about having 2 lost teams left out. It would be Army getting in, then play Navy a week before, only to lose, but they still get to play in the playoffs anyway. The chaos. You would be smelling the fried potatoes from Ohio and Idaho.
Writing for chaos.
Chelsea, I think you're pretty much about on the shoehorn there. I think we got to move to a 16.
The SEC is going to push for that.
Probably.
Oh, you bet your ass they will.
Oh,
This is
they
gonna be a
absolutely
short-
are.
The
You know
12
what's
team
funny?
is going to be an absolutely short experiment. That's for sure.
You
Yeah.
know what would be funny? If
Mhm.
they decide to do a fucking 16-team playoff and they decided, you know what? Fuck the goddamn what's it called? Fuck the goddamn conference champions. Let's have a 16-team Big Ten playoff.
They ain't going to do that shit. No, they're still going to keep conference champions factored in just because. Okay, just to be clear, Zep, I know what you're saying. Fuck the NCAA. Agree. Fuck the NCAA.
Fuck the NCAA.
Okay, the NCAA is not running this playoff. The College Football Playoff Committee is completely separate from the NCAA. The conferences for football completely separate from the NCAA. They look at the NCAA as the police force to keep everything kosher,
Quote unquote
I guess.
honest.
Yeah, quote unquote honest, right?
And that's
We
the
all,
problem.
but we all know how they.
There needs to be a new fucking committee. Let's be real. There needs to be a new fucking committee for this shit. When you
They
really think
actually
about
rotate
it.
the committee every 3 years.
And yet it's the same fucking shit every year.
You wonder
It feels
why.
like.
Well, keep in mind, every year was the 4-team system. Everybody knew 4 teams was too few, but we ran with it for a decade because people did not want to change. Rose Bowl. So so they finally got people to make up their minds and get with the times. Rose Bowl and let them fuck around and get this shit together. So the problem though is 12 is such a weird number for this layout. I mean, Division 3 has 32 teams. Division 2 has 28, I think. Division 1 FCS has like 24 now, something like that. FBS could definitely afford to get a few more teams in there, and it would be a little bit better. There's always going to be controversy about who's left out of the playoff. If you think that making the playoffs bigger to eliminate controversy is going to solve anything, have you not checked that there is 130 plus teams in FBS? There's going to be people mad and upset. They have a 68 team NCAA tournament for all of Division 1, all 300 fucking schools of Division 1. And you're going to have teams 69 70 bitching and moaning that they should have got in every year. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
People are always going to be fucking pissed. But what's important is, do these teams that are getting in belong there? And Alan, I think this is a good time now for us to go back to the playoff bracket and discuss, does every single team on this list belong here? Like legitimately belong here? Kurzov. What are you doing?
Kurzov is contemplating his life choices.
This is all I saw on the camera. He was like, hey, guys, hey, let me talk, hey. Oh, he's playing with something. I get it now. Got it.
The bracket's back up. There you go.
Thank you, sir. Chelsea. So they need to
twisting
figure it out for
my
FBS.
headphones
Maybe
like
16 is fine.
Hey,
Maybe 16 is fine, but I don't know.
Twisting
Chelsea, you're not dumb.
the cable like it's a terrible towel.
What are you, a Yinzer?
Oh, Jesus Christ. We don't
I
need
just
that
tossed
bullshit
it
in here.
around the room like an idiot.
Stennis
We
got
don't need that
shippable.
bullshit.
Anyway, moving on.
All right. So I think we all can agree Oregon, Texas, Miami belong here for right now, at least. They belong in the playoff. I'm not saying that they all belong in the first round bye, but they all belong here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think, honest to God, if the season were to end now, does Boise State actually belong in this, yes or no?
Yes. Because if not for Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty would fucking win the Heisman, for fuck's sake. For starters. We can be real and say Ashton Genty is the only reason why you can make the argument Ashton Genty is the only reason why Boise State is as good as they are. Like, on a bad day, he still has over 100 plus yards rushing on however fucking many attempts you got. And he's got maybe at least one touchdown. Like, bro is that offense. If he got injured tomorrow, they're done. You can't tell me that you can't ask me to name a single other player on that team other than him. He is him. He is Timothy the Third.
Timothy the Third.
In my opinion, I think they're deserving of a spot, but I think it's if it weren't for the conference champion junk, they would be more deserving of a lower seed. Not the 4.
Okay. All right, fair. All right, now next up, Notre Dame. Do you think Notre Dame should be in this playoff where everything stands right now? Yes or no?
I mean, they've
Notre Dame.
rebounded. Despite the loss to Northern Illinois, they've rebounded. So, but they're always overrated. That's the problem.
The Notre Dame should not
They
be in.
shouldn't be in off the fact of that they're overrated as hell, but they're
Yeah.
in because of their ranking and
Yeah.
because of their record.
No, don't. No, the only reason Notre Dame is in the playoffs is because Red made a video about them, and now they're getting really antsy.
Shut the fuck up.
Shameless plug. Go watch the video.
Yeah, it was damn good.
Rebounded against bad teams, says Chelsea. That's a take.
And
love
a
that
previously undefeated Navy. So
take. Navy was a paper boat disguised as a warship. We all know this.
Yes.
All right. Ohio State. I'm just gonna say you don't have to make any arguments. They fucking belong here.
Last I
We
saw
can
Notre
move on.
Dame, they
Zach,
added more
Zach,
fireworks.
last
to a
I saw
burning
Notre
dope.
Dame, they added
That's
more
enough
fireworks to a
excitement out of
burning
them
joke.
for
That's
me.
enough excitement out of them for me.
And that episode of As the Joke Burns should be coming out either tonight or tomorrow.
Oh wait,
And
weren't they on bye?
for the next few minutes?
Florida
as the
State
rest
is
of
a
the
bye
Did they
week.
seriously have enough
of
drama
Florida
to
State.
make a bye week as the joke burns?
No, I didn't upload the episode about Notre Dame last week because I wanted to take a fucking break.
Oh yeah, understandable.
That's why I am exhausted. You know how tiring it is to make a
I
weekly
thought you already
video
did it.
series. No, you
That's
would've known- you would've known
injury how that fucking works. He can't
No,
do
I
anything
don't.
else because of football.
about it. Well, fuck.
Because football is bullshit. Did you expect anything?
Oh yeah. Oh, they're trying to pull the Blues off of. They're trying to pull the Blues on Red.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Son of
They're
a bitch.
fucking pulling a single West blow.
Okay. Penn State, do they belong in the playoff? Yes or no?
Sure.
I'd
So,
argue, and I'm gonna say right now, I'd argue no.
How come?
Whoa, hot take here.
How come?
Yeah, whoa, we got bullshit
I-
here.
Why? Who the fuck have they beaten this year?
Yeah, but how many teams can you fucking say that about? That's the problem.
No. The one time they were playing against a team that is actually worth a shit, Ohio State, they shat the bed. Everybody knows the Penn State offense is fucking disgusting. They
not played
can't
another
fucking
good-
throw the ball at the bright side of a barn.
Oh, I see. They haven't played another ranked team all season except for ranked 19 Illinois back in September. Everybody else has been unranked.
Unranked and unimpressive. I do not believe Penn State. You want to talk about teams that are overrated? Yeah, we can talk about Notre Dame being overrated all day long. I'm happy to have that discussion. Penn State's overrated to shit. I don't know why they're even here. Like, why are you here right now? And
But
Tennessee
they only
isn't.
have one loss. That's why. If they had more losses, they wouldn't be here.
Penn State's offense has not changed from what it was last season. That is,
And they won't.
They've have one win over a top 5 opponent in the last decade and a half. James Franklin's beaten Ohio State once. He's beaten Michigan twice. I say this shit over and over again. Yes, but it's because it's fucking true. You're letting Penn State into the playoff, and you're effectively just giving that spot away. Penn State has shown me nothing to tell me that they're actually a playoff caliber team. So if they end up playing Georgia, they're going to get their asses whipped in Happy Valley.
Oh
And all
boy,
we're going to do is sit there and
soundbite
go,
of a quote
yeah,
by
I
Zap.
told you so.
Another
The only way
soundbite
they
of a
don't get
quote
their
by
ass
Zap.
kicked by Georgia is if Carson Beck throws 500 interceptions, and even then,
The only thing that could save them. Indiana,
Yeah.
I'm going to argue this right now.
Uh-huh.
By record, they do deserve to be here, yes. But I'm going to reserve judgment until they play Ohio State Saturday. That's really they're going to be their first. They nearly blew it against Michigan, and Michigan had a bunch of head coach mistakes that pretty much handed the win to Indiana near the end. I don't
yeah, but you
know
can
if
say
Indiana.
that's like Oregon against Wisconsin. It's just the opponent just showing up, and and that's the thing. That's one of the biggest thing. Going to be one of the biggest things about with all these teams that are from like the West Coast that are in other conferences, and now having to travel across the country. Jet lag is gonna be a bitch.
Oh,
They
right.
like jet lag and
Oh.
travel are gonna be a bitch for some of these teams. Again, Oregon has played 8 straight fucking weeks going cross country. We're in the fucking Pacific Northwest. Indiana's had to make trips to the West Coast for fuck's sake. Like, bruh.
No.
Just like Penn State, Indiana has played all the unranked.
What's up? No. Oregon's in the Pacific Northwest. No. You're fucking with me. No, I thought they were all teams.
Shut the fuck up, illogical.
Chelsea, you got a decent point. Maybe they were caught looking ahead to Ohio State. That's true. That could easily have been part of the reason there. And it's a big time game.
Oh yeah.
All right. Now we need to get down to the controversial ones, the problem children, if you will. The SEC. Alabama. Do they belong here? Because I mentioned this in my chaos vid on Sunday. If nothing changes drastically, Alabama could wind up in Atlanta playing against one of the 2 Texas teams for the SEC title instead of Georgia, instead of Tennessee, instead of Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Because of combined opponent record. Not like how combined record of them against their opponents, just their opponents' combined records. If Mizzou were to lose their last 2 games, Alabama would be out and Tennessee would be back in, basically, unless something else happens. That's the 4th level tiebreaker we're talking about. Does Alabama losing to Tennessee at home and Vanderbilt at home belong in the playoff, yes or no?
Let me say my piece because I know people are going to be bitching.
Fuck no.
I think they're a fringe. This is a team you could take it or leave it with. We've had our struggles against the likes of Vanderbilt, against the likes of Tennessee this year. Nearly losing to South Carolina nearly did us in. But with all things considered, this is a team that in the past few weeks now, as the playoffs are starting to near, and this is the typical Alabama bullshit kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time of year where they start to get their act together just in the nick of time for the SEC championship game. Now, it's not guaranteed that they'll make the SEC championship game. But the fact still stands, they are getting their shit together just in the nick of time to where they are potentially in a spot to get to Atlanta. Doesn't mean they'll necessarily make it to Atlanta. They might get one more loss, and that might push them down the card even further, maybe all the way as far back as like 11 or 12. But you got to look at what's ahead of you too. Alabama, again, this is a team that you could take it or leave it with. Anyone else want to challenge it? I know.
I would say that Alabama is definitely, just because they're ranked number 7 in the poll and they're 9th in the playoff ranking, I honestly feel like that they are getting a lot of credit for the simple fact that it's Alabama, for one, but also Milroe has gotten hot. When all else fails, you look at, okay, if you watch the game, who's actually, playing good football right now. Begrudgingly, I'm going to say Alabama is playing some really good football right now. Jalen Milroe completely torched LSU's ass last weekend. They did what they needed to do against Mercer. They got 2 more games coming up, or one more. Did they play this weekend? I can't remember.
Yes, they do.
I'll check right now. Hold on.
Oklahoma this week at
That's right.
Oklahoma, and then
So if they take care of business
Oklahoma
against
schedule.
Oklahoma in Oklahoma, and then they win the Iron Bowl,
Yeah, the Iron Bowl.
I guess then yeah, you could. I begrudgingly, I'd say the. Obviously, I would say that. Now I'm going to rehash this point again for those of you guys that are joining us, gamers. Good to see you again, my friend. Why is Boise State the 4 seed? For those of you that weren't here from the top of the show, and we're just over an hour now. Top of the show, first round buys are given to the top 4 conference leaders, top 4 conference champions. I do not say power conference champions, conference champions. If the number 4 team in the nation is Ball State of the MAC, they're getting a first round bye. In this case, Boise State is ranked above BYU, who is currently projected to be the Big 12 champion. And again, they're only projected to be champions because of their poll rankings. Okay, that's why Miami is still projected to be ACC champion, even though SMU is leading the conference. Because of this, the Big 12 conference champion, BYU, in this bracket, would have to play the first round as a road team at Ohio State. Boise State would get a first round bye to any of the New Year's 6 bowl games, serving as the quarterfinal spot. That's why it's like that. That's why Boise State, because it's not the 4 power conference champions and then the at-large, conference champion. It's the top 4 conference champs, period. And then the 5th conference champ gets a spot in the playoffs, and that's it. And then you fill in the bracket from there, which is why, again, they got to put the conference champions in the bracket first. That's why Oregon, Boise State, Texas, Miami, and BYU, they're put in the bracket first. And then you descend from the highest ranking team on that poll to you ran out of spots. So in this case, you run out of spots when you hit Georgia. That's why Tennessee at number 11 is on the outs, because number 14 BYU has to be in. Now, let's get back to what we were talking about. Does Ole Miss? Well, actually, let me back up for a second. Does BYU fucking belong here anymore? Does anybody feel like
No.
a BYU, Brigham Young,
No, they
Yeah,
lost
what we
to
saw belong here?
Kansas.
holding on because of a technicality.
But
Okay.
no, BYU definitely doesn't deserve it.
Okay, good. Easy enough. We can move on from there. Ole Miss. Does Ole Miss belong in this playoff? Yes or no?
Season they had? Fuck it, why not?
Was.
I think they had a pretty good season.
Ole Miss, I feel like, has a better quality wins than Alabama. Alabama, yeah, they beat Georgia, sure. That's all good. Alabama has a less embarrassing loss than with Vanderbilt, which is hard to say because Kentucky, I thought, was going to be a much better team this season. Ole Miss lost Kentucky. Because Ole Miss beat Georgia and they've proven their case against multiple tough SEC teams, I'd say that they belong here.
Yeah. Well, it's like this season's been a surprise for Ole Miss because Ole Miss, like in the past, like last season, they weren't exactly at the expectation. But this season, they fucking shattered expectations this year.
Mm-hmm.
They've been fucking really good this year, and I hope it doesn't stop. Like I really hope they keep going.
One moment. I'm still here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see SMU get in. At this point, fucking Georgia is the wild one because it's like, bro, you lose to Alabama and then you have your other loss, and it's like,
So
don't
Alabama
even-
and Ole Miss.
yeah, exactly. So it's just like, it's basically the problem with the SEC is like everyone's beating everyone, or you're losing to a team that's not even in the conversation to be in the college football playoff, let alone the top 25.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
and
then
what's crazy is that if not, is like LSU could be here, but they took an L to Florida. Florida could be here if they weren't ass. Missouri was here, and then they fucking fell off, and they're still somehow ranked. South Carolina is on the climb up. It's like, what the fuck?
Georgia belongs in the playoffs solely because they took care of Tennessee. They took care of Clemson on the neutral site, sure. And they've beaten the teams they absolutely had to beat.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they are worthy? I don't think they're worthy. I think you could make just as much an argument that Tennessee or SMU belongs in their spot.
Yeah.
But again, the SEC is considered the toughest conference in college football. Therefore, they're given priority. And Tennessee is only out of the ranking right now because they lost to Georgia. If they had not lost to Georgia, it'd probably be a similar ranking as to last week. Just BYU and Boise State swapping spots.
Yeah.
Simply put. So,
And the
all
rest
right.
of the schedule does not look very interesting at all. It's just US and the Danning.
All right. We're just over an hour in. And we are finally going to go ahead and table bracket discussion for tonight. And we're going to move on to a few other topics real quick that I did want to get to.
Yeah, sure.
I know that we were going to talk about the Tennessee versus Georgia game, but quite frankly, I think we already hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
With that long, very long discussion of the playoff bracket. So
Tennessee,
we're going to go to
you
this
had
week's
the chance to
brand.
do something and you failed. You fucking failed.
Yeah, Tennessee just failed big time.
Yeah.
No, Big 12 is not the fourth seed automatically. They're not.
It's just
Again,
whichever
it
conference has the fourth best record goes in
The
the
top
fourth seed.
4 conference champions, regardless of what conference they belong to, get in. Therefore, Boise State, currently ranked above BYU in the polls, gets in the first round bye. Big 12 does not get an automatic seed; they just get an automatic spot in the playoff. As long as they imagine the Big 12 champion just miss out and the American gets in. That'd be the funniest fucking shit ever,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? Yeah, that's possible, technically.
Army is just going to be
one
on a
more
chaos watch for the
comment.
rest of the season.
Notice that this projected bracket is invaded by Big 10 SEC teams. Needs to expand 24, and the team ranked 25th as the first one out. God damn. That's a lot of goddamn fucking teams. While I would love that, that'd be the death of bowls as we know, and that's a lot of money that's going to have to go walking. So that's the one thing FCS doesn't have to worry about. It's fucking bowl games.
Yeah,
All right.
the order is.
So, DJ, another question about that. Isn't it based on record then, the conference championship seeding? It's based on ranking. Your record should tie closely to your rank. So let's say, for example, Oregon remains undefeated and they get the Big Ten championship win. They're number 1 overall already, so they're going to remain number 1. Let's say Texas stays with only their one loss against Georgia. They're going to get the next best slot, more than likely. But because they're ranked, they're a conference champ, but they're not ranked second in the country. They would be ranked second in the country if Oregon beat Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. So, that's how that would work. Record helps influence the seeding, but the seeding is influenced by the ranking. And the ranking and the seeding are kind of the same, but they're also kind of not. It's a little complicated. I'm doing my best to kind of simplify it as much as I can. Long story short, the higher your overall ranking, is going to be based on your poll spot. So the higher you are in the polls, the higher you are going to be hopefully in the rankings. But if you are a 3-loss conference champion, you're going to get the 12 seed by default in the playoff. So I know it's a complicated topic, but we're going to get on to our new segment on the channel. It's one I've been looking forward to, honestly, all damn season. You're fired.
Jesus Christ, what was that?
That was his Vince McMahon
just-
attempt. And fuck Vince
Yeah, I'm just
McMahon
gonna
while
go
we're
ahead
at
and
it.
bump
But anyway.
myself now.
What the was that?
This week, we're going to go ahead and memorialize all of the coaches that have been suddenly and unexpectedly, some expectedly, removed from their posts. Starting off with Jed Tedford, Fresno State head coach, who was released and let go. I'm going to kind of burn through some of these guys here because I know you don't know them all. I'm going off of the current list of guys because we haven't touched any of them yet. Jed Tedford, okay. At the age of 63, he resigned back in July. But even though it's July, that was the first firing of the academic year. So he counts. Blake Anderson of Utah State was fired ahead of the 2024 season in July after being placed on leave. Will Hall of Southern Miss, they pulled the plug on them on October 20th after a 44-28 home loss to Arkansas State. He was he was not that great. The best thing he did at Southern Miss was a 7-6 finish during his tenure there. Now on the more recent events, Mike Houston of East Carolina was fired. He was let go on October 20th after losing 45-28 to Army. He went a combined 0-7 against NC State, Appalachian State, and Charlotte during his tenure. Another one that was fired on October 22nd, Mike Blumengren, 17-10 loss against UConn. He coached there for 7 years and went 24-52. I'd say that's more impressive that he was still there for 7 years, despite going 24-52. Good fucking God. Now we're coming up on the most recent examples. Some of them we've already talked about in other streams. Some of them we have not. Brian Bohannon, a very controversial firing at Kennesaw State in their first season. He led the program for 11 years, and he is out in the middle of their transition to FBS after going 1-8 this season, which is absolutely stupid still to imagine that you fire a head coach transitioning to FBS. It's not his fucking fault. Another guy that was just fired recently from the MAC, Mike New from Ball State. He was let go after a 51-48 overtime loss to Buffalo that ensured they were not going to go bowling this season. So they pulled the plug on him as soon as it was over. Not so surprising, Temple fired their head coach, Stan Drayton. They beat the Owls did beat Florida Atlantic on November 16th, so they did win their game this past weekend, but Temple went ahead and fired his ass anyway because because in his 3 seasons as a head coach, Temple went 9-25.
Yikes.
Good Lord.
Yikes.
Another guy, someone that Logical knows and loves, Don Brown from UMass.
I'm sorry,
2 days
hold on.
after
No,
35.
U.S.
no. It's you ass. Get it right. They are ass. Fuck them.
What a conference, for fuck's sake.
They lost 35-34 to Liberty in overtime a couple days ago. Brown has been with UMass over the last 3 seasons. Yeah, they lost 35-34 to Liberty, and that was the final straw. UMass went 6-28 over 3 years under Brown. Keep in mind, UMass has been independent this whole fucking time, too.
Yeah.
They haven't had any help with a conference. They've just been shit.
I wonder why
Well,
they're
next
so
season.
shit.
Oh, you asked
Yeah.
the next season when they go to the match.
Join a conference, for fuck's sake.
All right.
You
Now, on to...
Class is literally going to the back next year.
Well,
Okay.
they should've
There's
done
2
it a
other
couple-
firings that I do want to dig into a little more. Tom Herman, former Ohio State assistant coach and Texas head coach, has been fired from Florida Atlantic. Fun fact from the Sickos Committee, all of the Owl teams in FBS fired their coaches in the last month. Herman is going to be making a lot of money not to coach. They have lost 5 straight, and after losing 18-15 to Temple, they fired his ass. Herman was 6-16 in 2 years before they fired him. Ah, God. Oh, man. I mean, what? That is, what a fall from grace. This guy went 5-1 in bowl games between Texas and Houston, and is absolute trash now. That is just
The game must
This
have
is
passed by.
this is kind of like the Mike Keenan effect, but in football. Great NHL head coach for the longest time, but once the newer ages started to roll around, he lost his fucking touch. And as a result, he fucking sucked.
Yep.
Yeah. And now the final coach that has been fired as of yet, Biff Poggi. Biff Poggi, the head coach of the Charlotte 49ers, was let go the other day. He went 6-16 over 2 seasons. He was fired after losing 59-24 to South Florida and eliminated Charlotte from bowl eligibility.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So just a whole lot of nothing there. Now,
okay,
I think
I agree with Submachine said. I disagree with Submachine said. Still don't know why the Mag accepted UAS. Their team just speaks out FCS and FBS skin. That's agreeable as fuck.
yeah, UMass was with the Mac a while back, but then
over
they,
who's the better doormat.
Oh yeah, they are format.
the Mac was looking for some stability. That's all.
I would have
What?
said UMass versus UConn, but UConn is actually a decent team.
Hold on. UAS bringing stability. Ha! They're gonna keep that fucking campus stable for years.
Sometimes you just need a warm body to keep a conference alive. Ask the Pac-12 about that. They could use a few more warm bodies right about now. All right. Moving on to our next segment. Are you going to buy or sell the smoke show that is Colorado making the playoffs? Because here's, again, where we stood on it earlier. I brought this up briefly, but I want to kind of dive into it a little more. Colorado is currently ranked 2 spots below BYU. BYU is number 14. Colorado is number 16. If Colorado finds a way to beat BYU for the Big 12 title, or Arizona State knocks off BYU and punches Colorado above everybody else, do you think Colorado was still going to find a way to make it in towards the end? Do you think this team finally has it all together, or do you think it's still a bunch of prime air?
No.
If Arizona State does the funny and beats BYU and Colorado gets in, you know damn well the college football playoff is going to get them in because they're going to want Prime and Shadur and Travis in there, especially when Travis is a fucking Heisman candidate and the Heisman leader. And then DJ says, I do believe ASU could be dangerous in the playoff as well. That's the other thing. Arizona State could somehow fucking get in here. Somehow.
Which is fucking
Very true. Okay. I am skeptical of the Colorado experiment. Something tells me that they're still. I don't know about Colorado. Like comparing, people are saying that Colorado should be usurping Boise State and BYU right now. I'm like, hold the fucking phone. Boise State lost to the number 1 team in the nation in Oregon. That's the only loss they've had this season. Colorado has lost to Nebraska and Kansas State. No, don't even fucking try. So I would say that I like the fact that Colorado is on the rise. They're going to go bowling. They've had a really good season. They're finally back to respectable form. They're not a doormat. But do I think that they are a playoff caliber team? No, and I don't care how good Travis Hunter is. That one man doesn't make a team.
Yeah.
It's just my thoughts.
Make a football team. And
I mean, Colorado would probably go out early because their problem has been building in the trenches. Let's
yeah,
be real.
yeah.
But it would still be fun to have them against whoever the fuck they play. I would take Colorado in the playoff over Penn State. I would take Colorado in the playoff over Notre Dame because in that way, at the very minimum, they might not actually get blown the fuck out. And even if they do, they're going to
Oh,
make it
no.
entertaining.
Breaking news. Breaking news on the Buckeye home front. Ohio State starting center Seth McLaughlin has suffered a torn Achilles in practice and will miss the rest of the fucking season.
Oh,
See,
man,
here's the thing. New Orleans was 2-0, lost their starting center, and have been shit since. Good fucking luck.
yikes.
God.
Because you have your best center
That's the
player up
linchpin
the
of
middle,
our offensive
commanding
line.
the offensive line, you're screwed.
Hosted.
You're screwed.
Baby fucked.
That's not the be all end all of the everything. I mean, that is next man up mentality. Ohio State's a factory of linemen. That's one thing that is reliable about Ohio State. They produce quality offensive linemen every single time.
Yeah.
I guess now the question is going to be: are they going to be able to regroup and get everything together before the showdown on Saturday? But man, that sucks for him, man. Like, tore your Achilles in practice. Good Lord.
Yikes.
Oh,
Well,
God.
on that note, we are going to move to our Week 13 preview. And I'm going to say this right now. Week 13 kind of looks a little bland. It's kind of like the calm before the final storm of Week 14.
Yes,
Couple
but
of
we said
important
that a few
games.
weeks back, and then we got all the fucking chaos. Let me run this down based on who's in the top 25 in the college football playoff specifically. Oregon, Tulane, and UNLV are all on a bye. Ohio State plays Indiana.
UNLV,
Texas play-
repeat yourself. Did you say UNLV?
Yes, he did.
I looked. I did not see them playing anybody this week.
They're playing on Friday against San Jose State.
Oh, okay. There we go. Never mind. Anyway, so it's just us and Tulane that are off. Hey, look at us. Ohio State, Indiana is the big one. The other major games, Ole Miss, Florida, strictly off the fact that Florida just knocked off LSU. BYU, Arizona State.
Yeah.
Colorado against Kansas only because Kansas just fucking upset BYU. And if they upset Colorado, then Colorado's out completely. And
Notre Dame Army.
Alabama against Oklahoma because I want to see Akbar's team do the funny and beat Alabama and knock them out. Sorry.
Oh, but there's also Notre Dame and Army. You're forgetting about
They
that
have
one.
Army
too.
and
Oh, yeah,
Notre
there's
Dame.
that too. But I don't know. The rest of the week, get a load of this. Texas plays Kentucky. And yes, Kentucky did almost beat Georgia this year. But I just don't know. And then Kentucky did beat Ole Miss, though. But still. Penn State plays Minnesota. Somebody else pointed this out. That game is in Minnesota. That could be upset alert in Minnesota. Miami plays a 4-6 Wake Forest. Georgia plays UAss. Tennessee plays UTEP ass. Boise State plays Wyoming ass. SMU plays a 5-5 Virginia squad. BYU, as I said before, plays Arizona State. A&M, Texas A&M plays Auburn. Clemson plays the Citadel. South Carolina plays Wofford. Iowa State plays Utah. Missouri plays Mississippi State, who are trash. And Illinois plays Rutgers.
Cool. So, knowing all of that, I'm just going to go ahead and remind you of a few things about Week 13. I'm not going to be the doing the stream, I should say. I've done some thinking.
Oh boy.
So for those of you that don't know, I will be attending Indiana versus Ohio State in person on Saturday at the Shoe. I'm going to make the trek up to Columbus, get a Buckeye donut, get my skull crushed at the skull session, and go cheer for them damn Buckeyes to root on the victory. I'm going to be doing some videoing while I'm there for a vlog that I'm going to release to the YouTube channel at some point afterwards. But after careful consideration, a certain idea raised by Illogical and some of his buddies, I think we might go with it. And that is, I'm going to probably have Illogical, Canadian, and Duck and Kurzov, and Alan, if you so choose to jump in as well, take over my channel and stream play-by-play of the game. And occasionally from Ohio Stadium, I will be checking in and doing sideline reports.
The bullshit is real.
I'm going to try to check out College Game Day. You also got Fox Big Noon there and Big Ten Network Tailgate. I'm going to try to check it all out, but Skull Session's at 10. I'm not going to miss Skull Session. The entire college football world has descended upon Columbus.
They're all there.
I'm going to check it out. I'm going to do my best. It's going to be 43 degrees and cloudy. Perfect November weather in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
I got my tickets for $200 before everybody realized that this was going to be a big game and jacked up 2 tickets to $1,300.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking
For the
Christ.
same seats that I bought for $275, the same 2 seats I bought are now worth $1,300.
Wow.
Scalpers, everybody.
I mean, speaking of buying tickets, now that we're talking about buying tickets, I also
We
bought
want to talk
something
about a
recently.
certain somebody.
Like, I also bought tickets to something recently.
Oh, yeah?
Tuesday,
What'd
December
you do?
17th. Tuesday, December 17th, I'll be heading to Lowell Memorial Auditorium for NXT.
Fucking lucky bastard. I want to go so bad, but I have to fucking save money. So
It's $42 a piece.
yeah, and it's also driving, gas. Mind you, my rent helps Dad out with his bills. I'm the one that buys food for this fucking house. So my dad doesn't work.
Those
He
are the
can't.
big announcements for the channel. Those are the big announcements. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty awesome. I went to an NXT live house show many, many years ago and I saw the main event between Samoa Joe and Finn Balor.
I didn't have to work. Maybe I'd do more panther string stuff. No,
That was
I have to
excellent.
work.
That was back
They're
in.
not telling me when I start.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't even get nosebleeds. Like I got second level seats, but they're not top of the stadium. They're relatively good.
I have balcony seats, but I'm like front row balcony.
There you go. All right, a couple other announcements for the channel. Like I said, the Notre Dame video, the Notre Dame Florida State video for As the Dope Burns. I'm gonna try to finish that up tonight, get it out tonight before I go to bed. If not, it'll be out tomorrow. I'm hoping that I don't have to worry about Chaos Ball this weekend because I'm gonna be on the road. But if there is, may not have that out until Monday. And then after that, there will be a conference championship preview video. There will be a playoff preview video after that. Once the championships are done, Akron just won the wagon wheel, it looks like, based on a certain duck squawking and quacking his way home. And
while I'm present.
And there's going to be a general video where we're going to be doing the Q&A and some other bullshit. That's going to talk about the state of the channel coming out sometime after conference championship weekend. So stick around. I encourage everybody to one more thing. For those of you that don't know, we did join a social media platform. I joined Blue Sky. So if you want to follow along for any updates of the channel outside of the community tab, go on to Blue Sky. It is the fastest growing social media platform out there right now.
It's same thing.
It's because of certain things, I guess, for a lot of people, but others. I didn't want to deal with Twitter. There's too much bullshit going on Twitter, and I didn't like it anymore. So I haven't used Twitter in 5 or 6 years already. So I wanted to get a fresh start with this. So I encourage everybody to go follow
Blue Sky
me.
is Twitter without the bullshit. I promise you.
No, I'm mixing up. things. There are too many damn platforms these
You're
days.
thinking of Threads.
Yeah.
Threads is Mastodon with a fresh coat of paint. Illogical, what are you doing?
I'm trying to talk because I know he's trying to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Point
So
for the-
anyway, go follow me at Red5478 on Blue Sky, and you'll get more updates from me there. We're doing this strictly because one thing that I want to do over the next year is grow the channel, grow the audience. I want to see more and more people in these streams every week. We've grown quite a bit recently. We, used to be averaging maybe 4 or 5 people a live stream. Now we've been coasted above 13 most of the night. So that's really, really awesome.
Hang on.
I did almost forget about the Big 12 going on TNT. You're right. So yeah, the Big 12 as a part of the Warner Brothers Discovery and ESPN negotiations, ESPN recently acquired the rights to start airing NBA Live, which is the show that we all know on TNT with Shaq and the boys on ESPN starting, I think, next season. But lumped in with the rest of that is the TNT is going to be broadcasting about a dozen Big 12 football games next season during the regular season. And they also got about 24 college basketball games as well for them to use. So very, very cool. I shared that on my platform earlier on Blue Sky. Also shared it on the YouTube community tab. YouTube community is not going anywhere. I'm still going to be using that as one of the ways that I communicate with the community. I did Blue Sky primarily because I'm trying to grow the channel, and I'm trying to do it in ways outside of just strictly YouTube and word of mouth. I want to also get more eyes on the channel and grow it. So if you want to help grow the channel, if you want to help this turn into a much bigger deal, if you want other people to see what I do, share the videos, retweet my tweets, like the videos, encourage people to subscribe. I wouldn't recommend showing these to your grandma, but if she's cool like that, so be it. But no, the name of the game is growth this upcoming year, and it's going to be a big thing we're going to talk about in a couple of weeks. So I thank each and every one of you for joining me this evening. As always, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you to Kurzov. Thank you to Alan. Thank you to Illogical. I really appreciate you guys joining me and helping me out with these every week. We will be back with our next live stream on Saturday as Illogical and the boys over at his fantasy football community take over, and I play sideline reporter for Indiana, Ohio State. It's going to be a train wreck, and I hope you guys don't.
Disaster stream incoming.
Disaster stream incoming. Please don't ruin it.
We'll try not to.
All right, have a good night, y'all.
Doc said he'll
Have a
keep
good
us
night.
in line.
Doug,
Have a
you're
good
just
night,
as bad as
everybody.
the rest of us, so
Bye.
shut up if I was you.